How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another video. And in today's one I'm going to be looking at the top 5 most toxic F1 teammates in Formula 1. Now, just a reminder, this is all my opinion, so if you do feel any different, then feel free to express your ideas in the comment section below. So without wasting any more of your time, let's take a look at the top 5 most toxic F1 teammates. At number 5 we have Nigel Mansell and Nelson Piquet. The Piquet versus Mansell rivalry was a classic case of an experienced driver meeting his match in the form of a younger competitor who threatened his number one status in the team, and the elder racer Piquet even went as far as insulting Mansell and his wife. Initially, Mansell simply let his driving do the talking, but that didn't last as Piquet pushed his mental barriers beyond the limit. Their bitter war in 1986 eventually cost them a chance at the title, with Prost quietly plucking it from under their noses. The pair were only teammates for 2 seasons, and in that time it wasn't a happy marriage, as in the 1987 season Piquet went on to win the Drivers' Championship, which further added tension, so Piquet ended up leaving not only because of the relationship. Williams chose Mansell over him and also made a bad engine change for the 1988 season. At number 4 spot we have Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso. The 2007 Formula 1 season saw Fernando Alonso move to the McLaren team, and partnering him was the fresh-faced newcomer Lewis Hamilton. Straight off the bat, the pair engaged in a fierce battle for the title, both looking for first 2-time world champion Alonso for his first title with McLaren, and Hamilton looking to rewrite history by being the first rookie driver to win the title. Unfortunately, they saw each other as obstacles in the way, and then the real battle was on. Things turned ugly at the Hungarian Grand Prix that year when Alonso allegedly impeded Hamilton long enough for the Briton to fail to set a qualifying lap. The Hungaroring is one racetrack where qualifying is absolutely crucial, so as one can imagine, Hamilton was livid when he lost out to Alonso for pole position. The bitterness led Alonso to leave his contract 3 years early to rejoin Renault in 2008, and was replaced by Finnish Heikki Kovalainen alongside Hamilton. At number 3 is Sebastian Vettel and Mark Webber. This was one inter-team rival that caused mayhem within the team and also hammered a wedge between the Australian and the German. As is the case with a first-time pairing of teammates, everything goes smoothly until the first slip-up. The trigger behind this seems to have been the 2010 Turkish Grand Prix, when the pair of them collided with each other, ending Vettel's race and compromising Webber's. From there, the tensions within the team built up to a crescendo, and then they truly exploded, culminating in the infamous 2013 Multi-21 incident at that year's Malaysian Grand Prix. Second place Vettel disobeyed a team order to hold station and took the win, thus robbing Mark of a very deserved victory. That was the final straw for the Australian, and their partnership was officially in tatters. Coming in second is Gilles Villeneuve and Didier Pironi. Not many of you would know this rivalry, I would assume, but it was quite a sad ending to it, and Villeneuve and Pironi raced together since 1981. When Pironi joined the Maranello-based Ferrari for the first time, Villeneuve saw him as an equal, but that soon changed in 1982 at the San Marino Grand Prix. Ferrari had issued an order to slow down, which was open to interpretation. The Canadian was under the impression that it meant that he had to maintain position. Pironi, on the other hand, believed that the team simply wanted them to slow down, but there was no mention of maintaining position. After passing his teammate, Villeneuve passed him back, thinking that they had to put on a show for the fans, but Pironi passed him for good this time and won the race in front of a furious Gilles, who felt cheated out of a win that was rightfully his. Since then, the pair remained bitter rivals until Villeneuve's death in May 1982 during the Belgian Grand Prix at Zolder. Sadly, they had been close friends before the Imola incident. Pironi himself passed away in a boating incident in 1987, with his girlfriend giving birth to pairs of twin sons after his death. The twins were named Gilles and Didier in honour of the two drivers. Just before I reveal the number 1 on this list, I would like to add an honourable mention. Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg. A rivalry which could easily have been on this list, involving Hamilton again, this time though with his former Mercedes teammate and rival Nico Rosberg. Hamilton and Rosberg were very good chums before their time at Mercedes, and you would always see them talking in the paddock. When the two became teammates, things didn't start too well, as the Malaysian Grand Prix, Rosberg was told not to overtake Hamilton, and Rosberg was unhappy with this as he was promised an equal status with the Brit. However, the biggest controversy, and when things couldn't get any worse, Hamilton and Rosberg collided in the 2016 Spanish Grand Prix, and there were accusations from both sides, and this was the height of their rivalry. Hamilton won the 2014 and 2015 World Championships. However, Rosberg overcame the 7-time world champion and beat him in 2016. But the German would retire after his success and leave Formula 1 behind for good. And finally, at our number 1 spot, and I'm sure most of you would have guessed what this one would be, Ayrton Senna and Alain Prost. Highly regarded as Formula 1's definite intra-team rivalry, the tense relationship surfaced when Senna was drafted into the Woking squad with the approval of Alain Prost, the team's number 1 driver. Later, however, as time took its own sweet, meandering course, Prost would regret this decision as the young upstart Brazilian began to pose a threat to his championship hopes. The good news was that the first year of their partnership bore fruit when McLaren won 15 of the 16 races that year. The bad news, however, was that what happened the following years was just history. They soon became the bitterest of rivals. Everything came to a head on that controversial race in Suzuka in 1989, when Prost won his 3rd title after punting the Brazilian and himself out of the race. The very next year, at the same track, it was a case of deja vu, but this time the result went in the other direction. Even after Prost left to join Ferrari, their rivalry did not let up. Their friendship had a happy ending, however. Prost retired at the end of the 1993 season, and Senna reportedly spoke of missing Prost. The saddest proof of how close Prost and Senna had been, however, came at Senna's 1994 death at Imola. Prost was one of the Brazilian's pallbearers, and only spoke about him publicly 4 years later, when he admitted how much Senna had really meant to him. Rivalries are so important in sport. Teammate rivalries are twice as good, however. I mean, they made F1 so much more entertaining, as I'm sure even people who don't take an interest in F1 would just watch it to see Prost and Senna rivalry. You never know how much you will miss a teammate when they are gone, and especially like the top 2 rivalries I put in this list, where there ended up being a loss of life. Well, I'll end this off on a happy note. I hope you did enjoy this video, and if you did enjoy it, then I would much appreciate if you drop a like and subscribe, and comment your thoughts on the topic in the comments below. As for me guys, I'll see you next time.